You've made the decision to get into business for yourself. Now you got to go out and get some customers. We're going to be talking about methods and approaches to marketing that are cheap or free, mostly free, that really work and that you can grow your business very quickly if you follow these directions. So today on Small Business Daily, it's about marketing, one of my favorite subjects in the world. If you like to talk about marketing, if you think this is going to be valuable to you, mark the like button and hit the subscribe button, and maybe even you want to be notified about future episodes of Small Business Daily, you can hit the notify button. But let's get right into the meat of the subject today. So you're going to know that if you've been watching any of my earlier videos, you've probably run into this before. I am a huge proponent of the number one return on investment method of marketing for small business, and that is cold calling. I know you don't want to do cold calling. I don't want to do cold calling. Nobody wants to do cold calling. But the reality is, if you go out and knock on doors and you go out and make phone calls, you are going to have the most immediate response, the most immediate effect. You're going to build your client base the fastest of any other method that you can possibly contemplate. You can go online and do all kinds of things. You can advertise, you can do all kinds of marketing. Nothing is going to work faster. Nothing is going to work better. Nothing is going to work less expensively, except for your time, than just going out and knocking on doors. What can you expect? No matter what business you're in, no matter what client you're looking for, you're probably going to knock on 10 doors to get one client. So if you need 10 clients, you're going to probably have to knock on 100 doors. If you're making phone calls, you're probably going to make 1,000 phone calls to get 100 conversations to get 10 clients. But you can probably make those 1,000 phone calls in 2 weeks, or you can make those 100 in-person calls where you're knocking on doors. You can probably make those in about 10 business days. So that's how quickly you can get your basic clientele built. Cold calling. You don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. Nobody wants to do it, but it's going to be your number one ROI year after year, company after company. It's always been true. Okay, let's go on to a second place that you might go. If you don't want to, whether you do cold calling or not, you're going to want to use other techniques as well. What would be number two? Once again, you've heard me say this. If you've been watching my videos, Google My Business. You're probably tired. If you've been listening to my videos, you're probably tired of me talking about Google My Business. You probably think that they're paying for the channel. But the truth is, the number one most important real estate on the internet is Google My Business. Not your website, not Yelp, not YouTube videos, nothing else. There's nothing that's more important than being in the top 3 on Google My Business. You can get there. It takes some time. It takes some energy. It takes some work, but you can do it for free. You can go to freebusinesshelpnow.com and you will see at the very bottom of the page, you'll see an advertisement for some videos that we've helped create with another company. You can watch their videos. You can go back on Small Business Daily and some of the early first days, second or third week, we did a series of videos on how to do Google My Business setups and how to get highly ranked on Google My Business. Now, you can pay for it. There's tons of companies out there, including one that we recommend, that will help you get set up and highly ranked on Google My Business. But you can do it for free. But it is the number 2 ROI of anything you can do, because what? You can do it for absolutely zero, at no cost at all to you, and you can do it yourself. I would highly recommend that you jump on that right away. You can do that at night, whereas you can't make those cold calls during the nighttime. You're going to make those calls during the day. And at night, you can be setting up your Google My Business. But I have helped launch so many small companies by just getting them set up on Google My Business. Number 3 is another time-honored methodology, and that is contact everybody you know. Every family member, every friend, every business associate, everybody you went to college with, every your social media, make sure everybody knows you're now in this new business. Make sure that you talk to every single soul. Some of them will be discouraging. Some will say, you're never going to make it in that business. Others of them will have suggestions and ideas that might help you to become more successful. Listen to them. Other people will know somebody that needs your specific service, your specific product. Maybe they need your product or service, and they're going to be happy to jump on board with your new business. But this is a great resource when you're getting started, is to call everybody you know, everybody that you think you know, everybody that might remember you from 10 years ago. This is how, if you go into the insurance business, you become a life insurance agent or a property and casualty agent or a real estate agent. When you go into those businesses, the first thing the mentors will tell you in that business is to start calling everybody you know. Well, it works no matter what business you're jumping into. Last week, we spent several days, 4 days, talking about 18 different kinds of businesses that you could start tomorrow for free. And almost all of those would benefit from the first 3 things we've talked about, including calling everybody you know and letting them know you're in the business. Now, social media is another way to let the folks you know become aware that you're in the business. So use the social media that you're comfortable with. If you're a Facebook person or an Instagram person or a TikTok person, whatever it is that works for you, then that's the social media you're going to want to use to get the word out. Don't try to immediately right now start learning new methods of social media. You don't even have to set up a Facebook page. Let your friends know on your personal page. Let your Instagram friends know on your personal page. Don't worry about the business side yet. Just jump out there and let everybody know what you're doing. You can do this through a YouTube video as well. Just do a short 1 or 2, 3 videos, something you do very simply with your smartphone, or like I'm doing with using Zoom, and just let people know what you know about what you're getting into. Tell about how excited you are about the products that you're selling or the services you're offering. And a few people may see that, and that might be the seeds of 1 or 2 or 3 new clients that will help you jumpstart your business. What's number 4? Networking is an amazing way to jumpstart your business. A few years ago, I moved to Riverside, California. I had never done much business in Riverside. I lived 60 miles away and had done a lot of my business nationally and internationally. So I didn't have any relationships at all in the Riverside area. So what did I do? I joined the chamber. I joined a team referral group. And I started going to networking opportunities that were put on by various other groups in the area, other chambers of commerce, other kinds of groups that put on these events. Through these networking efforts, I picked up literally hundreds and hundreds of business cards. I made hundreds and hundreds of connections. I added these connections to my email lists. I added them to my contact list. And then I began to email out to these folks. So I quickly established myself in the city of Riverside as somebody who was in business, who was maybe giving other people help in referrals. When I met them, oh, by the way, I know this guy. And I started networking. Networking is a phenomenal way with very low expense. Yes, to join some of these organizations is going to cost you a few $100s, but you can attend some of their meetings for free. You can go to networking events for free, and you can really begin to build your base of relationships that are likely to refer you and to maybe even use you for your products and services. So networking would be number 4 on our list. Number 5, and a super critical one, is power partners. Whatever business you are in, there are individuals who are the most likely to recommend you. If you're a bookkeeper, CPAs are going to recommend you. If you're a hairstylist, it might be a nail shop that's going to recommend you. If you are in some other area, like let's say real estate, you're a real estate salesperson, mortgage brokers and other people in the real estate people, bankers are going to recommend you, and vice versa. If you're in the mortgage business, then you're going to go to the real estate people to recommend you. So these are power partners. You're going to want to identify who your power partners are, the most obvious people that are going to recommend your services that are in the same category of business that you are, but not competing with you. And you're going to want to go out and meet with these folks, give them a brochure, give them a 5-minute conversation about what you do and why you're better. And now keep following up with them over time so that they will start to recommend you. Now, when they recommend you, make sure to thank them for the recommendation. Make sure to give them a follow-up with regard to the recommendation that you did make contact with their individual, and also that what you are now doing. Did you establish a business relationship? How is that business relationship going? Because the way they're going to recommend you more in the future is if you do a great job in the first instance, the second instance, if you're doing a great job, you've shown the quality of the work that you're doing with their friend or their associate, and also that you're letting them know that you've done the work you promised to do. So that would be number 5, is build those power relationships. Number 6, if you are in a B2B business, business to business, you're selling other businesses primarily, then go to LinkedIn. Become extremely active on LinkedIn. There are many, many websites out there that will give you the basics, or YouTube channels that will give you the basics and how to establish yourself on LinkedIn. Most importantly, you're going to want a great profile. You're going to want to write a fantastic piece about your goods and services on the LinkedIn profile. You are hopefully going to go out and get some people to write referral letters about you and to talk about how good you are at what you do. You're going to want to show your experience that would give evidence to the fact that you do a quality work. Then you're going to want to start finding people that you can link together with. Every single person that you link together with is going to have 100, 200, 500, 1,000 people that they're linked with. If you get 500 people that you're linked together with, you will have millions of individuals that you are now linked to and that you can contact for free through LinkedIn by sending them a note. So that's your basic principle of using LinkedIn to get started. Find those relationships and then start conversations with the people that are most likely to be your power partners or most likely to be your clients, and or people that you think you can help with their businesses. So that would be using LinkedIn if you're B2B. Number 7 is another method of networking. It's slightly different, and this will cost you a little bit of money most of the time. And that is to start going to a farmer's market if that's appropriate for your business. Sometimes, even if you're a real estate agent or an insurance agent or something like that, setting up a booth in a farmer's market is a way to establish yourself, assuming they'll allow you to do that in the farmer's market. But also there will be little trade shows in your area. If you are a local business, there will be trade shows that are put on by chambers or other business groups that you can set up a booth for usually a very small amount of money. You can set up a booth and start making some contacts and some relationships. Depending again on the business that you're in, you can do lunch and learns. So larger corporations, larger companies, law offices that have at least 10 lawyers will typically do lunch and learns where you can go and you can talk about your services that may apply to the employees at that company, may apply to their clients, where you're going to help them in some way by training them and teaching them about your specialization. So lunch and learn is another one of those methods to go. You could also speak. Rotaries and chambers and other organizations in your area are always looking for good speakers. If you can put together a 10-minute or a 20-minute talk, then you can go and start contacting these organizations that are looking for speakers and let them know what you would like to talk about. So that's all under this category of a kind of the next level of activity that you might do in networking. Another method you can use, and I've used this over and over and over again in my business career, is to have a partner. Find somebody to partner up with. This could be an actual partner. So it's somebody who you have a actual partnership relationship with. You are both in the stockholders in the corporation, or you have a partnership agreement, and you are now going to work together as partners to build the one business. Another way to do partners is, I mentioned power partners a minute ago, but sometimes you may end up with a very clear-cut relationship with another company where you are both working in the same area, the same group, and you are basically every time, let me give you an example. You're a real estate agent or a mortgage broker. So you are now super partners when it comes to building business. Every time the real estate person gets a new client, they send them over to the mortgage broker, or the mortgage broker, every time they get a client, they send it to the real estate person. So you can establish some partnerships like that where you are exclusively related to one another in terms of giving referrals back and forth. So that's a informal partnership, but you can also have a formal partnership where you bring in somebody who has clients, who has skills that you don't have, who has a background that you don't have, who has education or licenses that you don't have. So you bring a partner into the business where you are literally partners. It could be one, it could be multiple partners, but where you're now, in a formal partnership relationship. I've done that throughout my career. I love partnerships. I've written articles about partnerships and When Friday Isn't Payday, and also I believe on freebusinesshelpnow.com, our website. So take a look at some of those articles on partnerships to learn about how to establish them and how to have a partnership that's really solid and that really works for you. Another very inexpensive, maybe even free way to establish early growth in your business is through cross promotions and through seeding your information in obvious places. So let's talk about those two. So they're very closely related. So a cross promotion would be a little more formal than what we just talked about with the real estate agent and the So let's give a couple of examples. Remember, we talked about the real estate agent and the mortgage broker, and they're just calling the other one and saying, hey, I've got another potential client for you. Well, in some cases, you can go the next step. Let's say you've got something that's medically related and you get doctor's offices to allow you to leave a business card or brochure in their waiting room. You go down to Home Depot. If you're in a building trade, you go down to Home Depot and you leave your business card or a brochure there. You may get into even more detail on something like that. Maybe you're an ice cream shop and down the street there is a restaurant that doesn't serve desserts. So you guys get into a relationship where you are promoting the restaurant through some information on your desktops or on your walls, and the restaurant is promoting you for desserts. Maybe you even get where you're offering discounts. So you, as the place that has the desserts, you're the ice cream place, you are giving discounts for the restaurant down the street, and they're turning around and doing the same. You can go even further with joint contests. So maybe you're going to give away a brand new, cool, bicycle. And so you get to a bike shop down the street. The bike shop provides the bike. Everybody's giving discounts, but all three of you now, the restaurant, the ice cream store, and the bike shop, are all taking numbers and names and emails so that there's going to be a drawing at the end of the month or at the end of 60 days, and somebody's going to win that bike. But in the meantime, you've been cross-promoting one another, and you've all been gathering in emails that you can now email out to remind people about your company. So cross-promotions, seeding, these are other ways, cheap or free, to get your business off the ground quickly. I hope this has been useful for you. If you've got a couple of more ideas that you'd like to throw down in the comments, throw them down in the comments, and then remember to subscribe and like, and maybe you'd like to hit notify so that you'll find out about what we're going to talk about tomorrow. Bye for now. This is Randy Kirk, Small Business Daily.